Hello and welcome back to another video on SW Fight Hub. We saw what went down in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia last night, the Esports World Cup boxing card. Turned out to be a lot better than I thought it would be actually overall. I thought Hrgović Adelaide, especially that round 8, absolutely unbelievable. Good performance from Ray Ford. But obviously what you want to be talking about is Moses Itauma blasting Dillian Whyte in one round. Dillian Whyte, 37 years old, hard to see where he goes from here. Punch resistant looked non-existent. The inactivity looked like it plagued him. He didn't look himself. I know a lot of people have jumped on that bandwagon. I don't think it made any difference whether he is himself or whether he wasn't himself. I think the stylistic matchup was horrible for him. I said Moses would win early in this one. You start to buy back into the hype a little bit when Dillian turns up in decent shape compared to his last few fights. And, there's no one more performance in him, but that was all it was. Just a little bit of hype fight week, complete mismatch on paper. Turned out to be that exactly. But the big question now remains is what's next for Moses Itauma. He's 20 years old. He's 13-0, 11 wins by knockout. He's not been getting any rounds, so they want to see him getting rounds. He mentioned Jermaine Franklin's name. I really don't want to see that fight whatsoever. I said midway through Hrgović and Adelaide, if Hrgović gets through this fight and Moses dispatches Dillian Whyte early, don't see any reason why that couldn't be his next fight. Hrgović is, he's hittable, one thing about him, but he's very, very tough. We saw that in the Zhang fight. We saw that last night. Even in the Dubois fight as well, he showed plenty of grit. I think that's the fight personally. Both on the same schedule, both fought on the same night yesterday. So I think that makes the most sense. A few outside shots, Martin Bakole potentially. I think that's a fight that you need somebody who's going to test Moses. Look, he could bang Bakole out similar to the way Joseph Parker did. He could get rid of Filip Hrgović within a couple of rounds as well. But Turkey wants to see the Usyk fight. I'm not, saying I'm not keen on it. I'd love to see it. I really would. But Usyk would score Moses Itauma right now, in my opinion. But he's the only fighter right now in the heavyweight division that you can say that beats Moses. Not saying that Moses beats every other fighter. I'm saying with confidence, the only fighter I can say right now in the heavyweight division that beats Moses is Alexander Usyk. He's 20 years old. It's pretty scary. Seems grounded. Not a big trash talker, but definitely coming out of his way now. If Turkey wants to see Usyk, Turkey's the one who pays the money. He's the one who's putting the shows on. I saw Frank's interview with one of the outlets. Can't remember who it was, but he shot it down a little bit. And look, Frank's been doing this for decades and decades, and he knows exactly how to steer a fighter. So I'd anticipate that it's more of a durable, fringe world level guy that they'll put him in with next rather than Alexander Usyk. He is WBO number 1. That is next. Usyk and Parker have extended negotiations from the Usyk side. Joseph Parker's interim WBO champion. If Moses and Joseph Parker fight for a vacant belt, wouldn't be against that either. There's lots of variables coming in, but one thing we can say for certain is Moses Itauma is the real deal and he's the future of the heavyweight division. Let me know what you think. What's next from you guys, and as always, thanks for watching.